think the hotel business is sort of a noble profession. We're in the business of taking care of people who are far away from home when they're vulnerable. And so I love the idea that we're providing a place for people to feel safe and maybe actually create a memory for them along the way.
Chip Conley knows a thing or two about hotels. He founded Joie de Vivre, the second largest boutique hotel chain in the world.
When someone asks me what's a boutique hotel today, I say, well, it's usually smaller than a chain hotel. You can get a sense of the personality really quickly. And it should actually capture the local flavor.
60 years ago in America, prior to the interstate highway system, all hotels were, in a sense, boutique hotels. The Four Seasons, for example, began as a motor lodge up in Canada.
See the USA in your Chevrolet.
But as Americans began to travel more, hotel chains popped up offering consistency and predictability. Unfortunately, over time this also resulted in rather boring cookie-cutter hotels which dominate much of today's landscape.
And there's nothing wrong with going and staying in a Holiday Inn, but the Holiday Inn in Kansas City is going to be just like the one in Denver. There's not going to be feeling for the spirit of the place. And that's really what a boutique hotel does if it does its job well.
But Chip's real legacy is the company itself, a world-class organization where employees are motivated to perform their best, help each other, and raise customer service to an art form.
There are very few companies I know out there whose name is also the mission statement. Joie de Vivre means joy of life. It's not a practical name. It's hard to pronounce, hard to spell. But Joie de Vivre, joy of life, was what I was looking for at age 26. I was a couple years out of Stanford Business School. I was idealistic.
And he was willing to take a risk. With no hotel experience and a shoestring budget, he converted a rundown motel in the worst district of San Francisco into a rock and roll themed destination. He did everything from cleaning rooms to handing out flyers to tour buses, and before he knew it, he had Nirvana, Johnny Depp, and others as regular guests.
I was the housekeeper. I was the night auditor. I had to do all the positions because there were 12 employees running a hotel, and I was one of the 12.
Over the years, he studied a lot of motivational theory, but he kept coming back to Maslow, ultimately adapting Maslow's hierarchy of needs to his own needs, simplifying it to just 3 levels.
Most of us who get excited about Maslow's hierarchy of needs get excited at what's at the top of the pyramid. The peak of the pyramid, self-actualization. But if there's a real good lesson about a pyramid, it's that the foundation's got to be strong. If the foundation's not strong at the base of the pyramid, you never get up to the top.
And as we'll learn later, Maslow has helped Chip to get his company through the good times and the bad times. The hotel industry faces many challenges common to current issues in motivation, such as cross-cultural challenges, motivating professionals as well as unskilled hourly workers, and it is an industry that is notorious for low wages.
We pay average in the hospitality business. The hospitality business doesn't pay that well. So we're average in an industry that doesn't pay well. Our average turnover, though, as a company is 25%, which may sound high, but in our industry it's 60 to 100%.
So they have average wages, but low turnover and high motivation. How is that possible? The answer becomes obvious when you talk to the employees themselves, like Sue Lee.
First time I saw Chip, I really cannot recognize he is the big boss. He's so casual, he's so friendly, talk to us is so closer, just like the workers.
Sue moved from China almost 20 years ago and worked in San Francisco at a 5-star hotel for 13 years cleaning rooms. But it wasn't a very happy experience. The workers didn't really bond, they didn't look out for each other, and career progression was basically an afterthought from the management's perspective.
The most likely reason a person leaves their job is because of the relationship with their boss, or how they feel recognized or lack of recognition in the workplace by those who surround them. So money is important, and actually, frankly, the less money you make, the more important it is, because it's sort of a survival need. But once you get to a certain point, it's not that it's not important anymore, because we know lots of CEOs who make $20 million a year, and it's very important to them. They may be getting a higher need met from that. But the bottom line is the distinguishing characteristic of one particular position versus another becomes less about the money, because you don't leave your job for a 2% pay raise. You actually leave your job because maybe it's 2% and XYZ. And the XYZ could be the culture of the organization, the kind of nature of the people you're going to work with, the kind of work you're going to do, the reputation of the company, etc. And I think that most business leaders sort of lose that. They actually get very tapped into what's most easily countable, which is, how much are we paying them? And that's one ingredient, but it's not the most important ingredient.
For me, is why I want to stay here, because my boss, their boss, every boss is very, very good for me. And also I can see from and learn from them. I can see them how to be a big boss, how can be a management. So we can learn from them.
Sue has taken courses at Joie de Vivre, the company's continuing education program, and now takes courses at City University. She is genuinely excited about her job and career path. But it was a story that Sue told us about a coworker who came from an outside hotel, which really drove home the concept that a happy work environment also has a profound effect on one's home life.
That's what the lady told me, her husband. He said, before my husband said, how come before you go home always, mad, not happy at all, no happy face for me, but right now you looks like totally happy. Tell my husband, yeah. Even sometimes I have difficult time, they still come to help me.
So if you think that stuff like Maslow is just intellectual party talk, you should ask Chip how important it was to him when he faced the dot-com and post-9/11 industry recession.
So during the last downturn, frankly, we were the largest Bay Area hotelier in a region that was seeing the largest percentage revenue drop in the history of American hotels. We were in a lot of trouble, and what became clear to me is that in order for our employees to have their survival needs met at the bottom of the pyramid, we needed to give them a sense that they weren't going to lose their jobs. And we chose instead to say, okay, I didn't take a salary for 3.5 years, and all of our senior executives took a 10% pay cut, and every salaried employee in the whole company took a 2.5-year pay freeze. But by taking those measures, it allowed our line level employees who made just an hourly wage at the bottom of the pyramid to actually know that they had a job and they got actually their benefits, and they know that annually they got a wage increase. And everybody actually felt like they were in a better place. Because the number one emotion in most companies in America today is fear. And fear is not a great motivator. It's great to run away from a tiger, sort of our survival needs as very instinctual needs. But it's not great for running a company that's in a marathon, because you get burned out if you're too adrenalized all the time. And that's what happens in most organizations. And so, we learned during that downturn that actually helping our line level employees feel secure and safe actually helped them to perform better.